Because you're raising $1 million, but you're not touching it. Because then you can raise $7 million that you will touch. So that's the genius of the Ponzi, and that's why people, they don't hear me, because I look like a walking Ponzi scheme, but everybody either loves me a shit ton or doesn't trust me at all. There you go. And I've never cheated anybody ever. And that's why, because I understand Ponzi's better than Ponzi's, because this is my 85th Ponzi while never stealing a nickel. Stage 2 is you raise 7 mil, but you're not going to return capital on that. But now you've got investors on the A round. It's a anytime capital call. Number 3 point, that's number 2 point, anytime capital call. Well, technically it's 3, because 1A is you want to do a 7 mil raise after the 1 mil raise. The 1 mil raise should be a slam dunk. Do you get this now? And do you love this? Because this is you getting it, because you're getting it because it's a layup. And hold on. So you're gonna, how do you structure the 700? That's a great question. I'm in. How do you structure it? No. Read back to me what I gave you about your last 2/3. Because I think you're getting it, but I'm not sure, which is why I'm asking this question. So what's the structure of the 700? Yes. And that's why I'm asking. Because you write this down on a piece of paper as I'm looking for my tripod. What dirty whore stole my tripod? My tripod literally sits right here. Somebody stole my tripod? My tripod literally is accessible right here. Okay, so F the tripod. This is way more important. You're trying to raise 7. You're not trying to raise 1. 1 is you're done. Meaning you don't get access to it. And that's the fluff money. That's you spend $600 on a party for South by, claiming 100% correctly so that you raised $1 million from brand name people that get to do an anytime capital call. So an anytime capital call means their money is never in danger. Oh my God, who threw my tripod in my bedroom? What dirty slut. So that's how you do, that's how SBF, who was his first VC? Sequoia. How did they get Sequoia? Sequoia put in 30 mil and they got 500. So you don't want to pull a Ponzi, just refund everybody 100% of their money. Or are you getting lost? Exactly. And it never gets risked, so that way you don't ask on Twitter, oh, I wish my vagina didn't hurt, and I wish, being woke got me minority capital, or whatever woke thing that it kind of is, right? Because you're kind of complaining like, hey, why don't I get Ponzi money? I want my Ponzi money, because that was the problem. The solution is you don't want to raise 1 like a pleb. You want to raise 7 like your Satoshi. Look at Satoshi. He's never touched his Ponzi. He's never touched his original stash. Oh, it's a Ponzi. Meh. He's mining fiat, and he's probably mining fiat, and he's buying Bitcoin at like 24K. Or now 22.5, but you know what I'm saying. You're trying to raise 7 by slam dunking the 1.0. And you're going to go 4 VCs that are brand name VCs and be like, look, I'm working on this cool thing. You'll probably never understand it. It's called Pleb Lab, okay? You invest in shit coins, okay? And so this is a way to buy into Bitcoin while always preserving your 250K. How so? I don't need the 1 million, which is what every Ponzi says. I don't need the 1 million. And that's step 5, is you never need the 1 million, which is why you must produce a South by party for $500 to celebrate your 1 mil. This is the Ponzi scheme where you don't steal money. And this is kind of why people hate me, because it works every time, 98% of the time. When I'm involved, it works 130% of the time, because it works 100% of the time, plus 30% of the people who come to the party are like, oh yeah, maybe I'll give this a look. South by is coming up, and you guys have space. So you spend $500 on a party, and the first party is called, what would you call it? I know what I call it. To save time, step 6 is we raised $1 million, celebrate us at this party. So we got funded party, whatever. That's March 9, okay? 2 days before South by starts. Now you will make money while you make money, because on March 16th, you're gonna announce that you're close to closing on 7 mil. Do you see what I'm saying? Now you're engineering up momentum. Why do you think I come to fucking Bitcoin Commons and hand out food, okay? I spend between $500 and $1,000 for food. Nobody thanks me, and I'm not looking for thanks. Do you know why? Because fucking Joe and fucking Dhruv, they celebrate the fact that they did this, but they forgot. Do you know about this? Yeah. So they started their last company. I hooked up their first $1 to $10 million. I'm unclear because it was so easy. I hooked them up for 1 mil to 10 mil. Quite frankly, I am unclear at this point how much it was. I just know it took me about an hour, maybe less than an hour. Joe, the CEO of Unchained, and Dhruv, the co-founder of Unchained. When VCs, Tim Draper, chipped in money, okay, it was relatively risk-free. This way, because you're not quite at Joe and Dhruv's level back when they were at Joe and Dhruv's old level, you're not quite there yet, so you'll have to make it even more risk-free. And you can even use Tim Draper, and even use Joe and Dhruv's old VC to do 250K. And if they want to change the model of the 1 mil, be like, hey, get involved in our 7 mil. Initially, I'm going to do 1 mil and then be incredibly, step 7, the word capital efficient. So the way to get VC is to fundraise $31 million in revenue, to fundraise $31 million of a credit line. Both of those things just takes hustle. So you don't actually need money to make money. So step 7 is proving that you're capital efficient. Oh, everyone talks about capital efficiency, which nobody does. So you'll actually be capital efficient, and then you'll say, oh, if you're not calling bullshit or not giving me 250K in a wire tomorrow, you're saying you don't believe me to be capital efficient. And then you say, I'm going to spend $500, I'm going to fundraise 7 mil in VC and generate $7 million in revenue. It could be future revenue, but that's what a South by party is you're kicking off. So you're going to do 3 South by parties because I see you're relatively social and you're pretty good at hosting. You're great at hosting, okay? I'm sandbagging the fuck out of it. So step 8 of this thriller Bitcoin blog post is you do 2 more parties and you celebrate one of your portfolio companies. Do you see where this is going? And now you're going to take one of your portfolio companies It may be up for an acquisition. It might be a shitty little acquisition for 3 mil, okay? But still, now your pleb lab portfolio shit is actually tested. And now you are capital efficient. And then now doing the 7 mil is another slam dunk. But that's why you need 2 more South by parties. Let's say you have a hard time getting an acquisition for a pump and dump, which is what it is, right? You pumped it and you dumped it. That's okay, because you can pump and dump a party, because one of those parties you could get merged or acquired in the same way that every Larry Chang event gets hijacked with consent. It's like banging me with consent. It's like me dating a stripper and then having her stripper friend come, and then I consent to the 3-way, because that's what a South by party is a future 3-way with a current girl that you're not yet dating. Sorry you're married and congratulations on your baby, but you could do a 3-way. Yeah, but you could do a 3-way with business too, because just like you're putting a baby inside of a girl that you just started dating, but now you're married to, the same way you're going to be birthing a baby via a party M&A. That's easy. That's a great question. So the question is who's going to merge and acquire my party? It's lazy corporate people who can't pull the trigger on a meeting. So it's all about risk. Corporate people, they can't take any risk. So when a party's up and going and blowing and going, and you got 80 RSVPs, which for guys like me and you, 80 RSVPs, that's a slam dunk, okay? I could do 80 RSVPs, okay, in my sleep. Corporate, they can't. They have a hard time even getting a venue. They have a hard time like saying, do we want to do alcohol? Do we want to do food? And then they got to find an administrative assistant, typically 55 years old, and a woman who's trying to buy venue space in a city that they don't go to, okay? So they're literally trying to buy it from Seattle, Microsoft. They're literally trying to buy it from DC, any lobbyist or tech. They're trying to buy it from Silicon Valley. So to buy your party number 3, okay, you're not selling party number 1. Well, you can sell sponsors. You could maybe sell party number 1. But by party 2 or 3, so party 2 is called Bitcoin accelerators being celebrated in Austin at Pleb Lab, okay, or hosted by Pleb Lab or produced by Pleb Lab. Somebody else is going to want Bitcoin accelerators hosted in, you know what, you're probably going to sell it to some Austin venture firm that I'm not going to even name names, okay, because they are super slow to execute too. I'm not naming names, okay, but like somebody will want Bitcoin accelerators, Bitcoin incubators in Austin. Like they're going to want that themed party. They're going to want that themed party, and they're going to want to replace Pleb Lab and Larry Chang with their company and their CEO who likes to grab credit and buy credit. And you're not selling it for like $80,000. You're just sticking them with the $50,000 party bill, which is cheap to them because they're buying $50,000 worth of food and drink at zero risk because their budget's like 150 because they're sending 5 people. 5 people alone, that budget is 200. Like Oracle, their budget for sending 10 people is $500,000, and food and beverage, just for them to exist on a per diem, is like $80K. And that's just how the math works. And you could question the math, but like, why would you question it? It's just basic arithmetic. And then throw on a $150K party with 80 people, done. You could have the RSVP list. We can plug the Eventbrite API into your Oracle API. And that's what it means to do 2 external APIs. We're DJing APIs. So step number 10 is the internalization of external API, which is all I run. But external API, one sentence, is you take two things. You talk to a cookie baker and then Tesla. And so if you're Elon Musk, you hand out cookies to sell Teslas. And I'm not even exaggerating, because that's what Elon does in a mall. So at Pleb Lab, you could be, for party 2, you could be handing out slices of pizza from midnight to 1. Pizza is your thing that people want. Pleb Lab is the, what the fuck is Pleb Lab? And then party 3 is, would you like to come to party 3? We're hosting non-shitcoin business accelerators. That's a funny party. Non-shitcoin incubators, AKA Bitcoin. Because, you know, do you want to swallow my big giant orange penis? Or do you want to come to a shitcoin rejection party? So no shitcoin accelerators, just Bitcoin. But maybe don't say Bitcoin. Figure out one thing for party 3, and then you'll hand out, you know, banana splits or shitcoin sandwiches or some kind of food or slices of pizza again. And then you're self-producing party number 3 at South by at the Four Seasons in the Waterloo Room. Sounds expensive, right? The Waterloo Room is like less than $2,000. And then you'd be like, oh, we don't have enough money for water, or lemonade, sorry. Can we just do buckets of water? And they'll be like, yeah, and plus, like, it's at a non-peak time and you're friends with Larry. So yeah, we'll sell you the Waterloo Room. And the Waterloo Room is right by the bar. So it's just a shitty meeting room right by the bar, but now you're hosting an event at the Four Seasons. And then now the M&A guy can be like, hey, what's this budget? It sounds like it's cool. What if we wanted to spend $150,000? Can we move you out of the shitty Waterloo Room? Yeah, you could have the room right next to the Waterloo Room, the ballroom, or not the ballroom. It's like the other room next to the Waterloo Room. And then, oh, what if we have a $250K budget? Yeah, we could do that. We can go downstairs to the grand ballroom. What if we got a $2 million budget? Well, we could buy out the Four Seasons in the lawn. So you're scraping 30% the way you would in event management. But remember, you squatted the Waterloo Room for $2,000. So your deposit is $0. In fact, the Four Seasons catering person, they won't even collect a deposit, because guess what happens if you default on the $2,000? They make $6,000, right? Because they're selling it to you too cheap right now, because people haven't even planned their South by party because economic uncertainty. So you're just engineering up momentum. In the same way that you're fundraising $7 million, you're generating momentum. You're generating momentum from not from a standstill, but from shit that you've 90% already done. You're great at hosting parties. So whatever regular meetup that you used to have at Capital Factory, just do a special one. And then that special one, would you like to just merge and acquire it? Or sponsor? This is how the merge and acquire works in reverse. Continuing on with Thriller Bitcoin. Is first you sell out same Ponzi ideas. Okay, remember you said Ponzi and Sam Bankman-Fried. You got 5 sponsorships. The first 2 sponsors are $3,000, but if you show up, I will give you your $3,000 back. Okay? Now the last 3 sponsorships for $3,000, I keep that money. Do you see where this is going? The first 2 sponsors, it's $3,000, but if you show up and actually bring your stupid banner, you know those rolly banners, with and then you're like, logo, and you get to talk, whatever. The first 2 people who give you $3,000, they get their money back. The next 3 people, you keep that money. So now you got $9,000. The 6th sponsor has to buy out the other 5 by merging and acquiring your entire party. Once the party's sold out on sponsorships at 5, which is really 3, now you can sell the whole party for a ludicrous amount. Because they're going to be like, crap, we got we got a competitor as one of the 5. And then now you can buy them out. And that's how to get a party M&A'd. And if you don't think you could do $3,000 per sponsor, you could definitely do $2,800. I would do $3,000. Yeah. And then if the first 2 people are kind of small penis syndrome, just be like, okay, if you don't have $3,000 to give me now for me to give you $3,000 back, tell me a dollar amount over 0 that you're willing to do. Because if they say $5, you can creep that right up to $2,000, because you'll be like, hey, I'll take your $5, give it to me now. And then later, if you get somebody to replace them, you give them their $5 back and be like, you know what, at $5 you're probably gonna flake, so here's your, you know what, I want to make you more than whole, and you want to write this down because this is the best fuck you ever. Look, you gave me $3,000 and I'm kind of screwing you from firing you as a sponsor. I want to make you more than whole, okay? Here's $3,300. The corporate guy's actually fucked because he can't take $300 more. How does he report that as revenue? Do you see what I'm saying? So if he gives you $5, give him $10 back, because now he's actually kind of fucked, because you're not allowed to take money. Do you see what I'm saying? And so this is how people get roped into Ponzi's is hey, you're $2 million, it's no good. And then guess what happens? The Ponzi guy gets 5 because he's getting manipulated into investing. You said Ponzi. This is how to Ponzi with positive intent. And this is also why if you decide to Ponzi, there's a super fine line, because what if you start to go dark, right? And you're like, oh, I'll just keep this money, or I'll just blah, blah, blah. I'll just keep kicking the can further down the road. And that's fiat, right? Because they're just like, oh, we'll just Ponzi a little more. Eventually we'll stop. And so when you give a person money back, make them more than whole. But the first 2, you offer a full rebate via business protocol, LCRRM, Larry Chang reverse rebate model. In fact, that's how, thank you for laughing. Hold on. No, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Joe and Drew, do you know why they gave me $500 to let them help them raise over millions and millions? Because I charged them $500 to pitch at my event. And they're like, what? It should be $5,000. They paid $500, and then when they showed up, they got all $495 back. And then they're like, oh my God, we got $3,000 for free and our $500 back. Larry Chang is the most awesome person I've ever met. And that's where you guys are too. So finish your question. What were you saying? Yes. You don't even have to do a safe. You don't even have to do you have to do an agreement, but it's literally a cocktail napkin of you can have Series A, okay, you are at 250K, I need 4 brand name VCs, and because of the Series A, your money is never at risk, period. Your money is never at risk. And that's, you can figure out if you want to call that your Series A or your seed. but initially call it your Series A, and then later slide it back to a seed where because you're going to be potentially transferring shares. But initially, to get your 7 mil, which is traditionally your A, okay, those first slew of VCs, they are going to have a simple anytime you want capital call, where that $1 million just sits in a Texas Pacific account or a Wells Fargo account, and then because people are going to ping that, and as soon as you touch that Ponzi money, you fail the audit. Because are you really capital efficient? What point number was capital efficient number 7? Anytime you want to call to see if we've touched the money, here's the Wells Fargo checking account. Here's the Kleiner. Here's the whatever bank you pick's bank account, because you can call to be like, hey, is that money still there? That if you fuck up, people like you can't fuck that up. Sure. I went on Thursday or 2 Thursdays ago, and then before that, just doing stuff around Austin, helping people. You know what? I was trying to get there. I think on Sunday you guys hosted a thing. You guys are so lucky to have physical space, because that's going to be valuable during South by. Yeah. I'll even do something better. I will fake sponsor, real sponsor one of the rooms to put is a guacamole recipe. So all these things are things that my mentor gave me in a 1983 book called What They Don't Teach at Harvard Business School. So external API, like Mark McCormick did New York Fashion Week, where he HTMMWIMM, which is what you guys are doing, which is how to make money while you're making money. And so I have these guacamole posters, and we could whiteboard it up, and then right above the whiteboard, one of them is a guacamole recipe. External API, I think, is guacamole recipe number 23. Hosting something at a conference you're crashing, I think, is guacamole recipe number 11. And so, yeah, whiteboarding this stuff up. And there's videos on my YouTube. But yeah, I'll totally come in and walk you guys through the 7 mil raise with the 1 mil Gaga guaranteed. Get it, guacamole and Gaga guaranteed. It's like a sequel to Lululemon. So then you're offering the 7 mil. You're trying to do a 7 mil raise. You're trying to do a simultaneous close. You're fundraising a 7 mil and you're fundraising a 1 mil. But the 1 mil is a slam dunk, and then the 7 mil is like your real thing that you get to spend and grow. But you've kind of got to be capital efficient with like $500, and then if $500 seems like it's too much money or too little money, you could raise it as high as $700 or as low as $400. And then when people see that you made $30,000 at fucking South by, but $30,000 on the 500, then they're like, I get it. They're super scrappy. And you're like, not scrappy, we're capital efficient. Because scrappy means you're good with $0. Capital efficient means these are people I want to give 7 mil to, so that way I get a 40% return on my money. De-risking vagina, de-risking corporate in M&A, de-risking VC, de-risking everything. Like Nassim Taleb before he blocked me for some reason, which is RMRE, risk mitigation, risk minimization, risk elimination. Yeah, well, I'll swing by Pleb Lab.